Hello everybody, welcome to Marketing Analytics course. In this particular week, we are discussing about customer churn and customer lifetime value. So, we are in session 4 and this is Dr. Shagota Chatterjee from Vijay IIT Kharagpur who is taking this course, and we in this particular session will talk about customer lifetime value or basically economics of CRM. So, CRM is what, as I told at the earlier stage of this particular week, that you have to maintain relationship with customers, because it is like in any relationship, for let us say personal level relationship. For example, I have a wife, and when he was my girlfriend initial days, when we were not married in our college days, we had to understand with each other, we have to create the understanding, we have to spend time with each other. So, there was lots of efforts were needed to build a relationship. Now, we have been in this relationship, I got married, I have a kid now, I have been in relationship with for a long time. And once I have passed this long path with her, now to sustain the relationship, the effort that I have to give has come down much less, because I understand her pretty well, she understands me pretty well. So, even the decisions that we take, the shortcomings that we have are generally well understood and well settled. So, she has changed herself, I have changed myself, and we are in a steady state. And when we are in a steady state, it becomes generally less costly, less effortful to create a satisfaction, in this particular case, to have a good relationship or a sustained relationship. Now, sustained relationship has multiple benefits. One of the things is that, as I told, the cost or the effort goes away, comes down. So, when you have a long term relationship, to sustain the relationship further, the marginal cost that you incur comes down. Fair enough. So, cost effectiveness is a major outcome of customer relationship management. What else? We also gain a little bit of loyalty. For example, let us say any relationship you will see, let us say a husband wife's relationship, as I was telling, that if there is a loyalty involved. So, you know that even if you are away from your home, or if you have not been not given enough time in the home for some time, your partner will actually try to help you or try to support you, or sometimes at still a certain point of time will forgive you. So, you have a little bit of leverage in terms of doing something which is not exactly good for the partner. So, in the context of services, how even if you do something which is bad for a service failure condition, if the customer relationship is strong, the customer will forgive your service failures. So, the chances of service failure will be lower, or chances of dissatisfaction will be lower. The customers will not switch from you to another service provider just because minute petty reasons. Moreover, for example, let us say I can get better, because I have been in a relationship for quite some time with my wife, I can get better outcomes from my wife very easily, because she understands me very well. She knows that exactly what she will cook, or exactly what kind of discussions, conversations we will have, so that my intellectual stimulation or my food related taste simulation can happen. She knows me very well in and out. So, she knows that what exactly has to be done to make me happy. So, the chances of a better successful mutually beneficial kind of outcome is much higher, and that is the case for CRM also. Even the customer knows that what the service provider can provide, the service provider knows what the customer is seeking. More knowledge means more satisfaction, as simple as that. So, these are all for the reasons why CRM is important. The next question that comes up is that whether CRM is important, fair enough. So, how will I measure that? How will I monetize or measure that whether keeping relationship with person X versus keeping relationship with person Y, which one is more profitable or which one is more better. So, that is something where the economies of CRM come in, and that is where we will be doing customer lifetime value calculations as well. So, if you see this thing that in 1960s we used to do product centric marketing, then we started doing segment centric marketing, and then in 1990s onward we have done customer centric marketing, and as market share goes up, profitability also goes up. This has been focused on. So, you have to check about the market share and etc. Now, think about a situation. This is a classic situation taken from a book from one of my professor in Bangalore. So, he has explained this in, to us in the class, and I have taken that, that's why, from one of his slides. See, just think about a situation when you have bought a car, let us say. So, I will not show this thing now. Let us say you have bought a car. At what price do you buy a car? Let us say Alto. Around 3 lakhs rupees you buy a car. So, this 3 lakh rupees goes to Maruti. Now, if you buy the car, it is gone. Is it the only thing that you need? All your travel needs are fulfilled? No. So, somebody has to drive the car. You need a driver. If you know driving, then it is okay. If you do not know driving, then you have to learn driving. So, there is a possible situation, that possible service that can be provided to you, which is driving training services, and Maruti has a driving training services. And sometimes certified drivers also, you can get certified drivers also from Maruti training schools who can drive for you. That is gone. Then is the car and the driver is enough? You might need a fuel. So, Maruti, whenever they purchase, they have associations. For example, various automobile companies goes for various kinds of associations with various fuel companies, that whenever you buy my thing, if you use this fuel, you will get a share of that. They can have a relationship with HPCL, IOCL, Reliance, and so on. Then, if the car breaks down, you need a service. So, that is why Maruti has a service center, and let us say your maintenance cost is 5,000 rupees per month. So, then it is around, or let us say if it is a little bit low, around let us say 20,000-30,000 rupees per year. So, then if you keep the car for 6 years, then there is around 1,80,000 rupees of service that you will do on a 3 lakhs rupees car. So, probably a little bit more or less, that can be calculated, but this is something that is also you are incurring this cost, and that can be given by Maruti, and that is why Maruti has opened up a Maruti service center. Then you need lubricants again for filling up and etc. So, for oil changing and etc., you need lubricants. They again tied up with fuel companies. That is also let us say around 2,000 or let us say around 1,000 rupees per year. So, 5 years if you use this particular car, 5,000 rupees, they take a share of that. So, like this, insurance, you do insurance, auto insurance. So, insurance companies, from there also you pay premium 5 years, and for 5 years they will take some cut from that premium. So, whenever there is a purchase happening, or if you take let us say loan, car loan, they will take certain amount of money from the bank, because they are giving bank a customer, they are creating a lead for the bank. So, all of these things you will see that total cost is coming up to be 7.2 lakhs for a car which is 2.5 lakhs. The rest 5 lakhs is coming from services only, and that services is being provided in a longer period of time, not in the first moments of truth, but multiple moments of truth over a longer period of time can only be obtained if you have customer relationship management. If you have very strong customer relationship management, that is the only way to capture the extra 5 lakhs. So, 35% customer expenses, 35% fuel, 14% is service spares, 17% is financial, and only 34% comes from the product. So, the most of the money is coming from outside the product. So, frankly speaking, there is no product company. There is no concept of product company. You cannot be a product company. You have to be a service company, and you have to have customer relationship management through multiple touch points. So, customer lifetime value, that is why we calculate based on the lifetime. There are certain variables that we have to talk about. The lifetime, the average revenue per year, the referrals generated. If your lifetime is long, you will consume more amount of consumption comes into the picture. If the average consumption per year is high, then also the more revenue gets generated. if you talk a lot of good things about me and lots of people know about me and they come and buy, that referrals generated also contributes towards my customer lifetime value. And if you buy something else, additional purchases you do, that also contributes to customer lifetime value. So, these are the major 4 sources. We will discuss about that when we do the calculations. And initial year it is always a loss and slowly it goes up above and above. So, first it will be only the acquisition cost, then the revenue growth happens by you making more and more purchases, then cost savings happens, followed by referrals, followed by price premium and etc. So, that is the general sequence of making money in a customer lifetime value calculation. So, I will calculate customer lifetime value with a small example which we use for hotels or for restaurants and etc. So, here I will first do it for B2B and then I will do it for B2C. There are 2 types of customers, and in case of B2B, let us say there is a Buford Electronics is a electronics company in USA. They are trying to understand that whether they should focus on small companies or large companies. Small companies average revenue is less than $3,000 per year. Large companies average revenue is $25,000 to $1 lakh per year. Small companies, these are the first data, is the basic data that has been given to you, and next you actually calculate. So, you have found out that the conversion ratio for small companies is higher than large company, 15% versus 5%. The cost per sales visit. So, whenever a salesperson comes to a company, he generally gives some gift to some people, who is sitting there. So, for large company gives a larger, for smaller companies gives a smaller. So, that is $20 and $100. Number of sales visit that you have to do before you close a prospect. For a large company it is 9, for a small company it is 2. So, I am just giving an example, it might be different. And then, so then turnover per customer during the first year, the values are given 1200 and 440, and then margin is first year is 360 and 8500, and number of prospects approach is 40,000 here and 8,000 here, much lower. Now, then what is the calculation? So, the calculation is saying that then the sales expense per prospect is basically C5 into C6 cost per sales into the number of prospect. So, per prospect I am doing 2 visits, and for each visit I am making $20 I am cost spending. So, this into this $40 is the cost per prospect. Similarly, 9 into 100 is 900, that is the sales cost, acquisition cost per prospect. Then what is the actual acquisition cost? See, I am spending $40, but not everybody is getting converted, only 15% is getting converted. So, actually net cost of acquisition is that 40 by that 15%. So, this divided by this into 100. So, C11 divided by C4 into 100, the cost of acquisition is coming $267 and here $1,800. Now, I am making 360 margin in the first year. In the first year I am spending $267, then how much is my net contribution? Net gain 93, and here it is a loss minus 9,500. So, if I have 40,000 customers and 15% got converted, then it is 6,000 here, it is 400 here, this into this is 5,60,000, and this is a huge loss. My question here is, should I focus on small companies because there is a profit involved? Should I not focus on large companies there because there is no profit involved here? To answer that, we have to do a customer lifetime value calculation, and you just take. So, for small companies I am doing the customer lifetime value calculation. So, let us say from 1998 to 2007, first choice is the lifespan, I told you lifetime. So, I am taking a lifetime of 10 years, and the sales is as it starts from 1200, and I am forecasting, these are forecasting results, this should come from your data, that the sales goes up, and the sales actually will follow this kind of a curve, but sales will follow this kind of a curve, S curve basically. So, it will go up and then get saturated somewhere. So, if it gets saturated somewhere, then it gets saturated at 2500. So, this value should come from this, and then the margin will also grow up slowly, because as the customer, as I told, the profitability goes up because you know the customer, the cost of making customer happy comes down. So, let us say it is 30% initially and later it is 40%. And what is the margin? It is nothing but this into this by 100, simple thing. So, I will not spend time on, this is the margin that I have calculated. What is the marketing expenditure? Remember, the first year it is the acquisition cost. The second year, these are values that so again comes from this thing. So, second year let us say it is 75 and slowly it comes down. It is just a small cost that you incur to keep the relationship intact. So, that much a gift, some service, extra service. And the retention rate also 75% and slowly goes up to 87% it goes up. So, then what is the customer value contribution? So, margin minus the cost. So, this much is the contribution every year, this minus this, D minus E, and then how much is the discounted contribution? The old contribution, I have taken the cost of money is 10%. So, discounted contribution is nothing but this by 1.1 to the power 0 in the first case, 1.1 to the power 1 in the second case, 1.1 to the power 2 in the third case, and so on. So, this is the time value of money. I have considered time value of money and discounted it. Now, with this discounted it, I will not get the whole money, because 93, whoever give me 93, only 75% of them will remain. So, number of accounts first year if it is 6000, number of accounts second year is this into 75%, number of account third year is this into 80%, and so number of accounts goes down, contribution goes up. So, this contribution into the number of accounts will be the total revenue. Now, new customers might come in 1999 also, 2000 also, but that is not my focus. I am comparing, should I focus on 1998 small companies or big companies. So, I will only focus on those people whom I have acquired in 1998. So, that is why 6000, which comes down to 4500. The actual number of customers for this company might be much higher, because he has again acquired some people in 1999. But that is not the part of my calculation. I am focusing only on those people, only on that batch. One batch of 1998 were small companies, another batch of 1998 big companies. I will compare who are better profitable. So, this into this gives me this. This is my total contribution of this year, and I am getting contribution of multiple years. If I add them up, that is the net contribution of these people. So, if I add them up, the total segment contribution is this. It is nothing but the summation. If you just check, the summation of these values is the same value here. So, if I have 6000 customers acquired in the first year, the corresponding average customer value is this, divided by 6000 comes up to be 2197. The same thing I will do it for bigger companies, and I will compare whether bigger companies are more profitable or less profitable. So, the assumptions, a few will be different. For example, 44,000 I assume that, so it goes double. So, here generally, this is I am assuming that this is becoming double from 1200 to 2500. So, this is also becoming double, almost double is something around. The gross margin is 30 to 40%. Now, margin goes up a little, much more in case of these guys, 19% to 30%. So, a little bit more, not very high, little bit more. So, this is the margin, then this my expenses. Now, this goes down, this expenses goes down quite a bit after you have acquired. So, that is the marketing service expenses. And then, what is the retention rate? The retention rate is 40% to 70%, it goes up. That is also standard. This one is retention rate is going up at a much faster rate. This one is much lower than that. And then, based on that, the rest of the calculations were done. The first year there is a huge loss, but second year onwards there was some profit. Now, if I calculate the total thing, the total segment CV is small, but the individual customer has a average value of 4014, which is pretty big. But the total segment size is small. You will see it is basically 1.6 million, and here it is basically 13 million. So, the total segment size in this case is much bigger, but here the total segment size is small, but the average customer lifetime value is big. So, you have to take a call that which one. Average customer lifetime value is big, but the total segment size is small. So, you cannot only focus on large customers, you have to mix and match, but you have to prefer large customers, provided you can withstand this much of loss in the first year. If you cannot withstand this much of loss in the first year, if you do not have deep enough pockets, you better go for small customers. So, that is the customer lifetime value for B2B case. In a B2C case, let us give an example. It's a resort, let us say. So, again from the past value it has been seen that initially in the first year you have to make a 2000 rupees cost, you have to pay, you will incur that much of acquisition cost for each customer. But the customer stays 2 days, if you are a 5-star hotel, 2 days or 4-star hotel even, 2 days he stays, the revenue you get is $12,000, 12,000 rupees, and that increases at a 10% rate every year, let us say it came. The cost is 9,600 rupees in the first year, and the cost increase 8% every year. So, that makes sense. Okay. So, then if that is the case, then how much will be? So, this is like 1.1 and so on, and this will be nothing but this into 1.08 and so on. So, what is the customer lifetime value is something that we will be calculating. Okay. So, how much is the profit? The profit is nothing but this minus this, and first year it is a loss, and second year onwards there is some profit that I am getting. Then there are other revenue sources. Profit from increased purchase of rooms. So, if I in the room I will purchase more and more stuff, in room purchases. Let us say you order some food, you order some this and that, you take more services in the room. So, then it is 800 rupees in the second year, first year you do not take, it has been seen, and the second year onwards this increase at a rate of 1.2. So, this is your in-room services that you take. Other services like beverage, spa, blah blah blah. So, that is this into again 1.2. So, these values will come, these assumptions that I took will come from your CRM data that you have. So, how reduced from profits from reduced overhead. So, overhead cost also comes down. If you know that the same customer will come, and if you fix the room, then the overhead cost also comes up. So, overhead reduces at a 10% rate from the revenue. So, it is basically 10% of the revenue. So, that much overhead costs are coming down, and then profit from referrals is 1980, means you are referring to other customers, so they are also buying, and this is also increasing at a rate of 1.1, because those guys are also referring somebody, they are also referring somebody and so on. So, it is a chain effect which is going on. So, what is the total profit then? So, this is the total profit is nothing but the sum of all of these things. So, first year you are still making a loss, second year you are only gaining from your own purchases, but third year onward or year 2 onward, basically in this case you are getting purchases from profits from multiple sources. But see, I have taken 15% discounting factor. For a hotel industry, you have to check how much is the profitability, that will be your discounting factor. So, in the first year, the discounting factor means the thing that will multiply with it is basically this is nothing but this divided by okay. So, let me put it in this way, this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, and if I just drag it, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, this one will be this divided by 1.15 to the power 0, and if I just drag that, that will be the various monies. So, 1.15 to the power 1, 1.15 to the power 2, just 1 minute. Yeah, 1.15 to the power 3, 1.15 to the power 4 and 1.15 to the power 5. So, that is how it is, this is the total discounting factor that I am getting. And then if that is the discounting factor, then the net present value of this person is nothing but the sum of all this. This is the net present value of this person for each customer I am getting, that if I acquire this customer with a cost of 2000 rupees today, the net money that I will gain over 5 years is 24,000, which is good enough, which is double of whatever is your, probably 10 times of whatever is your income in the first year. So, this is something, this kind of money you can make when you keep relationship with the customer properly. So, that is why customer relationship management is a very important factor of the business. So, that is what we have discussed. I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much.